It was a beautiful New York summer night. All of us, black and lovely as ever, on that Columbia University rooftop overlooking the New York summer night skyline and debating. It's all young black professionals tend to do. Tonight's topic of conversation: how to succeed in America while simultaneously being black. In this side of the ring, we have those in favor of the argument that you must lick the white man's bootstraps, shuck and jive your way to the top, and when you get there, you'll have the power to change things. But then in this corner of the ring, we have those in favor of the argument that there will be no shucking and jiving around these parts. We will keep it real from the jump because we were never meant to infiltrate into their system. We were always made to create one of our own. And then, in no corner of the ring at all, rather in something like a lacrosse field, there was me. Confused. And that's nothing against those two very educated trains of thought. It's just, I don't think like that like I used to. And that's nothing against the po black man. The man is holding me down. This black skin is actually a black metaphor for the black noose they want to tie around this black neck every time they see me walking down those black pavements type poems. It's just, I don't write them like I used to, and that is nothing against those slavery chains that some of us still choose to wear mentally. It's just they don't fit me like they used to. I remember going on a family vacation to the Dominican Republic. A guy took interest in me, gave me a beautiful beaded anklet from his store. I wore that the next day when I had my first sexual encounter with a complete stranger. And the day after that, when I was promiscuous with at least 3 different somebody else's, that anklet was beautiful and pure for all of 8 hours before it became a symbolic representation of my shame. But I still wore it for at least 8 months afterwards, because it was more comforting for me to live in the pain that I did know than it was to free myself up enough to experience the pain that I didn't. Or maybe the joy that I didn't know, but at least here, in this space in life, shackled to this anklet, I didn't have to know. Until one day it fell off. So I did what any rational slave would do. I put it back on tighter until one day it fell off again, and I put it back on again, and it fell off again, and this cycle must have repeated itself at least 20 times over before I heard God yelling out to me, "Why do you shackle yourself to an object that brings you so much pain, so much misery, reminds you of so much shame, when that's not where you live anymore, when I'm calling you to not be that anymore?" So I never wore that anklet again. And I never will, but I still have it as a constant reminder that chains are very real and they exist even in my life. But I am the only one who can choose to wear them, just like this black skin. Yeah, I'm black, but I am not a victim of it. Where race meets faith, it looks like freshman in high school year-old me doing that exercise, like take one step up if you've never been discriminated against, but take one step back if you have. That exercise completely meant to have white people in the front and all of the people of color in the back. But this time, there was a table in the front with $1 on it. Dollar representing success. The facilitator says, whoever wants it, come and get it. So I did. And they looked at me as if I was the revamped version of their new shock and awe campaign. They said that was not supposed to happen. They said that had never happened before. They said that I messed up the object lesson of the day. The lesson being that white people would always reach success first because of the white privilege that puts them in close proximity to it. But where race meets faith, my object lesson looks a little bit different. It looks like me, standing at the back of the room. It looks like me. As black as the gum walked out on the bottom of your shoe, it looks like me. Not caring about what it looks like. Just caring that God has given me these two faith legs to walk me to my destination where race meets faith. It looks like white face telling me, you're just not what we're looking for. And then having them call me back, asking for my help, and me ending up with a position higher than the one they denied me for a week prior where race meets faith. It looks like 9 families in a courtroom representing the 9 they lost in a Charleston church shooting. Knowing that in that courtroom, they are both black and Christian, and both of those identities are so important, yet only one of those identities could give them strength enough to heal and forgive and live where race meets faith. It looks like you getting mad with me, asking me which of these identities I held first. Me being honest with you, saying that I've been black longer than I've been Christian because I was born black, but then I got born again, and those two identities now are forever in the process of swapping positions. What race meets faith, it looks like me. Back on that Columbia University rooftop, overlooking the skyline, looking up at the midnight sky, realizing that I am as black as it is, and that's okay, because I am as limitless as it is too. It looks like me on that university rooftop, joyfully realizing for the first time in my life that the realities of my world are no longer physical, but are completely spiritual. But it also looks like me painfully understanding that I could never get you to understand that. So where race meets faith, I talk a lot less and I pray a lot more, in the hopes that one day, when you have your university rooftop experience and you look down on the ground to see that your beautiful black beaded anklets just so happen to fall off over the course of an enlightened conversation, you'll no longer feel the need to shackle it back on again. And you'll one day choose to live free too.